Tell you what, I'm gonna play a couple songs. I've got some moments here before my next student comes in. I'll just do a little, maybe back this up. I'm waiting for another video of mine to load up. Figured I'd take a moment. I had been doing some Monday moments and answering some questions for people when they came in. So if you pop into this video and you watch it from the tip top and you have any questions, throw them my way. Maybe I can answer them for you. I don't know, maybe I could ask my teacher and have them explain it to me. No, I've been playing a little bit. Yeah, are you on ukulele right now? We can switch over if you have any questions. What have you been working on? You got something in mind, or been trying to do a little stuff here. Are you doing baritone ukulele or are you doing standard ukulele? I guess I should say G, C, E, and A. Cool. Ukulele. If you're on there with the ukulele, this works for a baritone uke, and it also kind of works for the guitar. A great thing to do is we learn how to play like, been waiting to learn wagon wheel. Cool, I could try with that. Wagon wheel, standard uke. For putting it in a minor. Here, let me see if I can pull that up here. I think that's The Medicine Show. Great tune. If I had to guess, I'd say it's in C. Almost everything feels like it's in C. The best thing about what I kind of like do here is like, even if we played it in C major, we could explain it through the eyes of C major. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then our B diminished, which looks exactly like our G. And that goes back to 1. When we do these kind of things, we would see it as being like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like no matter what key it's in, we can change the progression into the key it's in just by learning it in one key and then move it over. So here we go. Let me see if I can Google this up and say it. Wagon wheel. Chords. Now, I'm not sponsored by iReal Pro. However, they have an app and a forum where you could just type this into it and it comes up with the chart. You could read it firsthand. It's super simple to use. It's $14 for the app. I'm super frugal and I use the app every day to write music and to practice. I love it. Wagon wheel, chords, and Sure, piano. I go online and find the same stuff that everybody else does. Be aware that sometimes the tabs are intentionally wrong. Sometimes they'll write having the key of like G flat or a G sharp rather than A flat, stuff like that, where you'll have an F sharp and a G flat in the same signature. It's very, very odd. Let's see. Darius Rucker from who is that? Help me out here. Hootie and the Blowfish covered it as well. How cool. So I generally go to Ultimate Guitar. When I'm going through Ultimate Guitar, I don't use the little app here. I take a quick breeze over the top of here. It says capo in the 2nd fret, so it's still in the key of G. Capo 2nd fret on the guitar. They played in the key of G, so you'd be playing in the key of what? B flat, I guess. Maybe you'd have to listen to it. So here's my process. I would go probably to my music server. I use Amazon Music, and then I would take a gander at what I've already learned 4 stars with the help of. Oh, thanks very much. Thanks for popping in. That's really cool. So as far as this, I would look up Wagon Wheel. I would pick up the most popular song. Whenever I get hired for gigs, this is kind of what I do. I'll listen to the song. Oh, Darius Rucker, top. I like Old Crow Medicine Show. I want to listen to that one. See what it sounds like. That's all we need. That's the progression. Ooh, so I'm hearing an A. Cool, so, ooh, I'm out of tune. Sorry about that. Much better. So if they're playing an A, we would talk about all the possible chords of this song. A major. You can say A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, which is definitely in this tune. After D major, we just scoot that up for a E major. We have an F sharp minor. And then for our diminished, there's a couple things we could do. A, B, C, D, E. When we play E as an E7 or an E7, it functions as our G sharp diminish here. Awesome, because both of the notes that are inside of here share itself with a major and a diminished chord, making a dominant 7th. So when we go through the process, E major on 4th fret, faux show. We're, however, going to need to hit the B note at the 2nd and then play all 3 of these. One of the exercises I show to get better at playing your Ds or your Es or anywhere you're going to tangibly play this shape is to play a D major, 1st finger. Concept is you're going to keep down the high G, the big old thick C, the E string, and then the A string is going to be open. So when you play it, it needs to ring true. See how there's a little gap right there? When you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all D. Now this is D sharp or E flat. The process by doing this 100,000 times will train your brain to go from D major, keeping this A note open, and then anytime we go anywhere, the brain's automatic response will be to make that shape and then miss a finger and a fret and then hold the note that is one whole or major 2nd away on the A string, furthest away from the face. That's how I learned. It's called muscle memory, and I call these teeter-totters. So for the medicine show, let's hear it one more time, and then we'll go for it. Cool, we got it. Pretty sure the whole thing does that. There might be a little bit sway on here, and I'm probably not going to sing the whole thing because I'll get copyrighted for this, and who cares. The first chord is going to be A major, 1st finger, 1st fret on the thick C. 2nd finger is going to go here. Bluegrass, we can go hammer on. So keep your finger on the A and hammer on from the open C to the C. That means you're doing like a little bebop kind of movement. A flat 3 to a natural 3 makes this swing into it. The next note we're going to be hitting is going to go all the way to the aforementioned E. We were just talking about it. If you can play a D, even if you're still playing it like this way, maybe try playing your D with one finger on 2 notes and then add a third or a second finger for that third note. The process by getting away from using 3 fingers will open up having more fingers for awesomeness later. The chord we're looking for after an A major goes to here. Little side note, when playing A major, the C sharp octave or the P8, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp is all the way up here. So when we play that, I've been playing with 3 fingers. Shoots. Try doing it another way. I have a lot of students, you just can't teach an old dog new tricks, so they just do it that same way. However, why play with 3 fingers when you could play with 1 finger and have 3 other fingers for awesomeness? When you get into something called finger style, you'll move up the fretboard by doing something like this. Little articulation over the top of one string with a different movement going. When we move our chord, we can move our positioning onto where we played the original chords we know. So if you know how to play like the chords we're playing right now, A major, E major, we're gonna put 1 finger on the C sharp, same 2 notes that we had part of the A major. When we put down a finger here and then put a pinky out to the aforementioned C sharp, we get an F sharp minor or a D major 7, but we'll talk about that in another time. The chord that you have here, A major, is the root, the 1 of all this. Remember, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp is the minor 6. In every key, no matter what key you're in, the minor 6 also shares the same notes as the root. So if somebody says, how many sharps and flats does the key of A have? You could definitively say, I know that A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. When we play, we name those as such. A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, and then we were talking about just playing an E7 as your G sharp diminish. It does function that way. So for this tune, here's what the rhythm's gonna look like over the top of A major, E major, F sharp minor, D major. Quickest way to hit these chords is to play just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now add in a little bit of groove to it. Get some pizzazz, if you will. I'm still a little out of tune. It's horrible. So when doing that, the pizzazz that I like to use that sounds a little bit like the album here has this. Is pressing down for a stroke, A, you lift your fingers off of the frets so you still mute it, and then you give yourself a little bit of rhythm in the background. So these are called 8th notes. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. In my brain, I'm saying 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I don't have to signify those. I could just call them as 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and. So the exercise that we aforementioned as teeter-totters would do A, 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 A. Ooh, just with one finger. A. I don't know if I could. Yeah, you can, but that's horrible. I wouldn't try doing A with just one finger. I would definitely do it 2. The concept about doing this, when we're playing just the one finger here on these chords like the E, they're just called bar chords, B-A-R-R-E. A single note is a single note down. 2 notes is called a half bar. It has half the strings. 3 strings down is called a partial bar. And then a full bar is just called a bar chord, B-A-R-R-E. The concept here is if you can play, oh, not a D? What chord are you talking about? What chord are you talking about with one finger? Some chords can be played with one finger, some can't. Like minor 7s? Definitely. Anywho, I hope that helps on Wagon Wheel. Hope that helps on Wagon Wheel. That rhythm's a little bit hard to get sometimes. How do you play D with just one finger? It's tricky. Yeah, you just get used to it. I mean, the idea is, I explain it this way. When a baby doe is born, their legs aren't that strong, but it only takes like 3 days of like trying to get up and stand. So here's a D major. This bottom note is an A because this string is called a G string. When we raise that note tonally by a half step or a minor second, it's called a G sharp, or enharmonically, an A flat. So when we go to here, that's an A. Well, in the key of D, there are 2 sharps, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then D. So when we have a minor third and we have our diminished seventh as a C sharp, we're actually going to be having both of these notes be charismatic of A right here. Here's a D note because that's the open C, C sharp or D flat D, A, D. This is an F sharp because this is the E string. E goes to an E sharp or an F natural. F natural goes to an F sharp. And then this string that we play that we're trying to keep open is an A, A, A. When we have a chord, chords are made of 3 notes. They're called triads. The first one is called a harmony. It is a major third. When you play the next harmony with it, it's called a minor third. With these minor thirds and major thirds combined, they make a perfect fifth, and that's what we hear as a 1-3-5 in every key. Ukulele has 4 strings, so one of these notes is gonna need to be doubled. When playing the D, you gotta get used to where your finger doesn't hit the A string. So if your finger's too far over, it mutes it. If it's too far up, it doesn't play the E string right next to it. So you just gotta get really good at trying to play the A open and leave the other ones out. And the reason why I mentioned the aforementioned baby doe, the more that you try and stand up on those legs and the more you try and stand up on these fingers, your fingers stop doing this and they become super strong so you can flow with this D. See how we're playing that? And you hear that open A? I wish it was in tune there. Nice, better. So when we move this up, we get used to doing that kind of thing where our fingers come in. I mean, mine are way overemphasized right now. It doesn't need to be that way. It could be like that. But see how it's kind of going down and the finger itself is like brick wall and it leaves the other note open? I hope that helps. I'll tell you what, I need to look at my schedule. I've got a couple more minutes before my next student. If there's any more questions or a song you've been trying to learn, shout it out. I could help you with it right now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna jam. Maybe show you a really cool lick since I got the ook out. Cool, so C major, we generally play right here. I aforementioned something I call teeter-totters. I also have another lick that I teach all my new students called spider exercises. It utilizes 1 finger on the strumming hand, and it utilizes 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, and 4 finger on our playing hand. So when we say, walk that way, no, I see it hits the brick wall and then it just squishes. And what you need to do is make sure that there needs to be just enough room right up there. So when playing this, try and play a C major. The idea is try and play that same C major with your pinky. Remember how I said this is the A string, and when we sharpen it, it becomes an A sharp or a B flat. When we talked about the G string closest to our face, it's the G string, and then when we sharpen it, it becomes a G sharp or an A flat. Well, when we're talking about this note right here, this is still a C, but what I like you to do is see is when we play the first finger on that G sharp or the A flat, and then make what looks like what everybody knows as being a G7 or a B diminished. Take that with our second fingering by doing our teeter-totter, taking away our first finger, moving this down, putting this up here, and then bringing our pinky on the fretboard. When we move it up, we must cover the note that was left open. Same way we did with D. When we played D major, there was an A open. When we move it up, we must cover the string that was open, thusly moving the whole shape up the fretboard because we're finitely moving between 2 points, right here and right here. In between the tension of our tuning pegs and then where it connects to the bridge and the saddle, it's only equidistant to the 12th fret. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minor seconds until we get an octave or a P8, meaning whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Everywhere we go makes a major scale. Going vertically, we can do that on every single one of these strings Or we could just go up and learn patterns. It doesn't so much matter what you know what this is like a, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. It doesn't matter if you know what the names of these are. E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E. What happens is the pattern is the exact same, and that's what we use to play scales and melodies over the top of different chord structures. So the best way I found to learn these are play a chord how you know, learn how to play it another way, learn how to play it another way, learn how to play it another way in the same position. And then take this and move it up somewhere where you can hear the same chords. Also, shapes move. So if you move your shapes, you get different chords. G major looks like a C major and a D major. Why? Because G is the one, G, A, B, C, D. So maybe we would be able to say something like this. If this is a G major and this is a G minor, and we know that the chord seniorities go major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, and then major. We can play a scale all the way up. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor. And then our F sharp diminished is gonna move our fingers all the way up top here. Bar these up and give us two backwards right here. You can even hit this low note here on the A, and then it resolves to our G up top, thusly moving vertically up the whole way. Or you could do those same notes down here. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, or D7, and then G. So the last thing I want to leave you on is this little groove. I was playing it earlier today. I really enjoyed it. Pinky on the C. Play what looks like the G7 with your second fingering. So with me now, here's a G major. Here's a G major 7. Here is a G dominant 7 or a G7. The G7 looks exactly like the B diminished. In fact, enharmonically, they're the same thing really on the ukulele. So what we're gonna do is take our first finger off, move our second to where the first was, put our third to where the second was, and put the pinky on. When we do this, we have one open string. Move this forward and put that finger down. This gives you a C sharp diminished or an A flat 7. It's a great chord. Watch what happens when you play a C to this chord and then down to a G7. Watch my fingies here. All the fingers are where they should be for the second weird chord. Here's the C. I put down my fingers for that chord and then go down to a G7. Go super slow and then go faster. If anybody has any more questions, I have a student here in about 5 minutes, and I'm going to try and start doing this regularly. So give shout outs. If this is a good time of day, cool. Maybe we could do this once a week. Manatee Lord, could you maybe try to play a part of Tomcat Disposables? Oh, I missed it. Where was that? Tomcat Disposables. Tomcat Disposables from Will Wood. Yeah, let me take a gander. Tomcat Disposables. Tomcat Disposables. That's a great name. Will Wood. Tomcat Disposables. There it is. That's almost what we just did. That sounds like it'd be great on a baritone. Okay, that first part. So I can't go down to a C flat or a B, but you can play it up here. And get down to a G, so you'd have D, D, D major 7. You probably would want to move this note down here, so you'd be having a flat D. Break it down like you're playing an F sharp minor I'm sorry. Yeah, F sharp minor. And then the concept is you already have that flat 7 within there. F sharp minor and a D major 7 on the same chord. So you'd have... That doesn't fit over there, so you'd have to pull off your finger here. And you would have a D7. And then the last chord you would hit would be a G. Even a G7 would probably... Ooh, that's an interesting movement. But it's also going up at the same time. Well, it's going to focus on there. I don't know if ukulele is the best one to focus on right here. I think it even sounds like a baritone. So what would that be? Ooh, it's like a G5, which means you're going to have your first finger or second finger down here, and you're going to cover both the B and the E strings. And probably just getting an open ringing on that E note to go back and forth between the two. And because it's in the key of G, you have G, A minor, B minor, C major. You can even throw that in the C major to G again. It's kind of tonal there. G, A minor, G major with a little sus work. Ooh, augmented chord. So when we go to that next kind of chord, you're going to play the G major to an A minor. Quickest way around the pad is here, right here. And then we're going to play what looks like the G major. We're going to move it all the way over horizontally and throw down our finger here. That's going to give us a beautiful chord right there. And then I think it hits a minor again. What does it do? We're in key of G. Does it moves? It goes to E minor right there. So you got a G major, A minor, G major. We're going to be moving to a diminished here. You want to see how we could form this? Move this all the way back and all the way back. And what do we get? Looks like we're getting a... If we played a G major and moved this back, we would have a G diminished. So this chord right here is functionally G diminished, G sharp diminished, right? A diminished. Nice. So when we're moving this forward, we could use that A diminished coming by in a little bit. Cool. Okay, I do have a student here in a minute. I hope that's a good start to this. If you already knew those chords, maybe enlighten everybody else on the rest of the channel in the comment section what the rest of these chords are. I have never heard of Will Wood, so I'm going to check it out on my own and have a new artist add to my repertoire. If you enjoyed what I do, please subscribe, share this channel with somebody else. I'm transitioning from labor to full-time music for 2024. I'm super excited to provide music online for our community and in my local community of Hilo, Hawaii. Anyway, aloha to everyone. Have a great day. Be well. Great song.